I guess I better go watch, tell you guys what's going on. Alright. I guess I better go ahead and talk about this situation with the One Piece situation. Now, a lot of people don't know there's been a lot of controversy lately with this certain community of people that are expressing this whole situation with over-sexualization. It's becoming a situation to where they can't discern reality and fiction anymore. Like, there's a group of people that are honestly mentally out of their minds. But I understand some of them are upset about the whole One Piece animator situation. I looked into it. I do feel bad for this guy because he was just doing his job. And he would probably said, I participated in the key animation of One Piece 190. I hope you enjoyed Bonnie's scene. Like, keep in mind, people were kind of upset about the fact that according to the context of the situation, the character's 12 years old, and I don't blame the animator for this. He was just doing his job. And a lot of people were kind of upset about this because the character is 12 years old and she ate a gum fruit that ages her up. And her ability is to age people. That's pretty much what her abilities are. And of course, seeing how it is, people are kind of like a little bit upset about this, concerned about this character being 12 years old and calling it over-sexualization and calling people pedophiles. And that's kind of the problem. I used to remember a movie called Big by Tom Hanks. I recommend watching that movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. But it's basically about a 12-year-old boy who wished to be big, but of course he did get his wish. He became an adult man, and he basically got kicked out of his own home. No joke. And was and had to find he had to find a job. He also fell in love with an adult woman, and of course he kind of got hurt by everything. Came back to reality and realized, he doesn't want to be an adult anymore, and he just realized he wanted to be a kid. It's a sad story, but it was actually a pretty good story. I highly recommend it because of the fact that he basically wished to be a kid again. He realized he just couldn't handle being an adult. He'd rather just be a kid again. That was the whole point of the story. And, of course, this is kind of the same situation with Bonnie. Like, she's 12 years old, but she's an adult. She knows the situation. She knows the issue. It's kind of funny. Like, Julia Bonnie is kind of an interesting character, but sadly, people don't think very, are not very fond of her character because of that. And it's very much the issue here. Because they feel like, okay, she's being sexualized. We should do something about this. And of course, they're threatening to kill Oda over this. I'm not kidding. Because of the creative decision that he's made for this storyline that he is doing, it kind of freaked out a lot of people. Because they can't discern reality and fiction very well. And they can't really take this story very well. And I understand. In that context, it is wrong. But you can't blame them for that. And it's like, you can't blame the animator for this. Like, they're literally wishing this animator's death. And I don't believe he deserves to be harassed over this. But unfortunately, some people, and we see this with people online freaking out over sexualization of characters. And when I looked at this art, it doesn't really look like it was as sexualized. It's just a girl laying down on the ground holding a staff. Like, it doesn't feel like it's sexualized in any way possible. But unfortunately, we're living in a world where there's some people that are weird as hell. And they think differently. And it's purely stupid of them to believe this stuff. But unfortunately, they do. and they come up with these weird conspiracies online on the internet, accusing people of being pedophiles or misogynists and all this other shit. Like, this is becoming a situation to where we're seeing a group of people who claim to be anime fans, clearly, but at the same time hate on, certain things. There's a reason why anime wasn't always mainstream back in the days. I used to remember back in the days watching anime, and I used to go to Suncoast. This was a store that sells VHS tapes and DVDs. And the early 90s, anime, the only way to gain access to anime was through VHS tapes, and they were sold at $30. And you had to also get an ID check because certain animes you couldn't watch because they were all rated at a certain age group. I wanted to get Macross Plus, and I asked my mom, "Hey, can I get this Macross movie?" And she said no because it's an adult movie, and I'm like, crap. I managed to get that movie after paying for it, and I had to do a lot of freaking goddamn stuff. Like I had to cut grass for a living just to get that Macross movie I always wanted to watch, and it was a good movie, Macross Plus. But anyways, it's kind of sad. Like, these people can't seem to discern reality and fiction. Like, these people really are crazy. And I don't think people should be attacked over this stuff, but unfortunately they get attacked online because these people are not really anime fans. They really hate the art form of anime. And I think that's the problem. They don't like certain stereotypes, but unfortunately there are stereotypes about the anime fandom. One is that the over-sexualization of young characters is the issue, and I get that. Like, people don't like that. It's the wrong thing, but hey, that's what sells in Japan. And they're trying to get that audience. They're trying to target that audience. But unfortunately, there are people outside of the country that don't like anime, and they clearly don't. Anyways, leave your thoughts down below and tell me what you guys think, because I'm out of here. You guys take care. Bye-bye.